All right, everybody, good afternoon. Welcome back. And Hangover Monday rolls on with more Pro Football Focus stuff. Again, we just look at this stuff to see what they say, not necessarily because they get everything right, not necessarily because we think that they get everything wrong either, and we're just here to laugh at them. No, they put in hard work, man. They put in hard work. It's not always going to be accurate work, but they're putting in hard work over at Pro Football Focus, and a lot of this stuff is good. I think that some of the stuff probably isn't, but we like to look at it every week anyway. Please like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to help support the channel, and I think that's really about it. So let's go ahead and dive right into the defensive grades. Let's actually zoom in a little bit here. We can get away with that. And the defense was probably the side of the ball that was slightly better last night. And I do mean slightly because by no measure was it good or average. I don't even know if I'd call it bad. Like, they played better in the second half, but to me, you already lost the war when you gave up 20 points in the first half and you let Green Bay score every time they touch the ball, and it's 14-0 before you blink an eye. Like, at that point, to me, you've already had a really bad game, and the rest is just like, I don't know, trying to scrape together a little extra credit. You already failed the test. But breaking it down, there are a couple of players that Pro Football Focus thought played well. I'm not going to necessarily agree with all of it, but let's take a look here. Let's see what they had to say. They did positively shout out Boye Mafe. He was the one guy who consistently got positive credit from PFF this week, which further makes one wonder why he didn't play very much. I'd have to look and see when he played, what snaps he was on the field for. I almost wonder if they realized this game was out of hand and they decided to just kind of bench him late because they didn't want to overwork him in a game that was already lost, and they want to try to save Mafe for the meaningful games at the end of the season, and this game got unmeaningful so quickly they decided to pull the plug. Maybe that's it? I don't know, but they gave him an 80, which is the highest grade of any player on the team on offense or defense. Draymond was right behind him too. You don't see this every day. They gave Draymond a really, really good set of scores. And usually, even in games where he plays pretty good, he gets murdered on the run defense. So this is certainly notable. And the only other defensive player really worth anything, according to the grading, was Leonard Williams, who did get the 69.3. Now, I personally think that Leonard Williams was a complete non-factor in the first half, and then he stat padded a couple nice plays in the second half after the war had already been lost. But I mean, it's not like he's supposed to go out there and lay down just because the first half was bad. So I'm not against giving him credit for it, but at the same time, I can't get that first half out of my head where our defensive line was just getting blown off the ball pretty much every play. It was bad. And putting together nice reps in the second half is cool, but it's not going to make me think they played good. All right, so that's really it. Like, you got Drake Thomas, AJ Finley. They didn't really play very much. I don't care about that. Jaron Reed, meh. Jonathan Hankins, meh. Devin Witherspoon, meh. Julian Love, meh. And then like it's all just this ugly color of puke down here. Like, look at these colors, man. It's all puke. Rayshawn, Byron Murphy, Ernest Jones, Uchenna Nwosu, all the way down, just mediocrity after mediocrity after mediocrity. Roy Robertson Harris, Kobe Bryant's down here too. Derek Hall. Derek Hall actually had some pretty productive numbers rushing the quarterback in this game. If you look at it, they gave him 3 quarterback hits, and they still graded him terribly because of the run defense and I guess the coverage. And look, the coverage shouldn't be a big deal here. It was 2 snaps, but we're not seeing the run defense with Derek Hall get to that next level the way we were hoping. Josh Joby, awful. Woolen, awful. We knew that. We kind of knew that one. Tyrese Knight, even worse somehow, which, I mean, I didn't think he was good. I didn't think he was this bad. I mean, look at some of these really awful run defense scores. Like, if you were to sort by run defense, look at all this. Look at all this garbage. And this was the part of the team that was supposed to be fixed after the Ernest Jones trade. And now you have to step back and be like, wait a minute here. Was it fixed? Look at all the bad colors in the pass rusher category, cover. I mean, it is an ugly malaise of just bad to mediocre to, in some cases, really bad grading. It feels worse than the offense to me. Okay. I don't have a I don't know what else to say other than that when it comes to the general grading, right? Just almost everybody's stuck in this miasma of puke. Missed tackles, I will say, not as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be worse. 6 missed tackles in this game for the team. 1 by Tyrese Knight, 1 by Josh Joby, 2 by Kobe Bryant. That was your 1 multiple offender. 1 by Witherspoon, 1 by Leonard Williams. Other than that, I guess they kind of sort of tackled okay. I don't know how much credit I can give them for it, but I guess they tackled okay. If you go over to the run defense tab, I guess one thing that stands out would be that we had a game with one run defender in particular, Ernest Jones, getting a lot of run stops. Ernest Jones had 5 run stops in this game. That's a little more in line with like the, Bobby Wagner standard. But then you look at his average depth of tackle and it's like 5.2. That's not good. And, mark the date and time here. You got Draymond Jones, 3 run stops, 0.3 average depth of tackle. So, hey, in a game that was really, really bad, I guess we can say Draymond Jones brought it to the table, which, it doesn't change the big picture with him, but something's got to be said for that, man. Draymond Jones, he brought it. He actually played a good all-around game. Leonard Williams also had 3 run stops and 0.3 on his average depth of tackle as well. So there are some guys here who are doing things right, I guess. Jaron Reed, 3 run stops, 3.5 average depth of tackle. That's okay. Like, this is what happens when the other team gets to run the ball on you a lot, though, because you can't stop it and you fall behind early. So there's a little bit of that going on as well. So, couple of notable things here, I guess, but like, man, Ernest Jones, he's still a really good player, but you can see the limitations with him sometimes, can't you? He's just slow, and sometimes it shows up in really negative ways. Okay, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Let's the numbers don't look bad, right? 19 pressures from PFF is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's actually pretty good. But how much do you want to bet that very few of these pressures were truly impactful? Like we got, Mafe with 3? I'm willing to bet PFR gives him 0. Because I don't think any of those pressures had a big impact on the play. Draymond Jones had 1. So, usually you get a little bit better than that. But I'm willing to bet that's also not a very impactful pressure. Hankins had 1, but I'm going to pretty much guarantee you that's not showing up on PFR. Murphy had 2. Reed had 3. Roy Robertson Harris had 1. A lot of these are just not going to be there when you apply more scrutiny to them. Like, I think that Derek Hall's probably well because he actually got some licks in on the quarterback. Leonard Williams got a hit in on the quarterback. Woolen, he hit the quarterback, but, you guys watched the game. You know what happened. Knight had a quarterback hit. Nwosu had a quarterback hit. Okay. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought, but it didn't feel like... It sure didn't feel very impactful on him. Him being Jordan Love. I didn't feel like we impacted him all that much, even if we put up some okay numbers. Like, Byron Murphy getting 2 pressures in a game normally, I'd say, okay, that's good. Jaron Reed getting 3, I'd be happy with. 19 overall, 3 from your 2 main edge rushers, plus another from Draymond, plus the 1 from Nwosu. Usually I'd be like, yeah, we were cooking. But most of the time when we got pressure, it felt like Love was ready for it and just checked it down, and the pressure, if anything, was playing into Green Bay's hands. So I can't even get excited about it. So for whatever it's worth, the numbers do look a little bit better than expected, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on this. I have a feeling PFR is going to paint a very different picture at the end of the week. And I think that PFR's picture will be closer to reality personally. All right, that's pass rush coverage. It's bad. It's bad. Rayshon Jenkins was the only player to be graded with an above average coverage grade in this game, and he did not get targeted at all, and he had 6 or 5 coverage snaps. So, no player that had a significant coverage presence in this game really played well according to PFF. Witherspoon's the closest. Witherspoon, they gave him a 59.2, 2 targets, 25 yards. That's okay. He did give up the touchdown, though, so that's going to drag it down. Now, I'm not upset at him for the touchdown. It's garbage time. Who cares? But, I mean, it still happened, I guess, so. The funny thing is, he's the guy who gives up the touchdown, and yet he's still the guy who who's probably still the best representative of this group. You know, I'm not going to get on the edge rushers too much. They did have some coverage snaps, and you can see they didn't do too well in them. Derek Hall, Uchenna Nwosu, but really, the culprits that you're looking at would be guys like Reek Woolen, obviously. This doesn't count penalties, by the way. He had a PI call that almost got him to 100 yards allowed total. The dude is just completely lost it now. Tyrese Knight, 5 targets, 31 yards. That's not the worst, but you can see how poorly he got graded, so he probably played worse than that and got a little bit lucky. Kobe Bryant, 3 targets, 28 yards. Josh Joby, 4 targets, 21 yards. None of it's, like, atrocious, but it adds up in a very, very negative way. I guess your main culprit would probably be Reek Woolen, but Ernest Jones, not good either. Kobe Bryant, not good. Giving up these little chunks to these edge rushers, against the edge rushers, not good. Like, there's really nothing here you can point to be excited about, I feel like. I don't know what you're hanging your hat on here, right? The good scores you got are relatively meaningless here. So, it's just one of those games where there's very little to get excited about. Like, even the stuff that looks good theoretically, like the pressure numbers, I felt were pretty empty. And I have a feeling that, like I said, PFR is going to look at the same game and say, no, Seattle had like 6 pressures. And the 13 extra pressures that PFF found were not impactful. So I don't know what to take away from that. And overall, there's just nothing here, man. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this red. Look at this orange. There's like no green on this page. This team has made significant investments into their secondary. And to show up like this in a home game, a big game, drags you down. It just does. Okay, special teams. We did actually have quite a few players with good special teams grades here. Pharaoh Brown, Patrick O'Connell both had over 90. So that's cool. Had some greens as well. Had some guys make tackles like Josh Ross, Tariq Young, but we also had a bunch of missed tackles actually, so kind of balanced out. And there continues to be nothing really overall stand out in this group, I feel like. Like everybody's just kind of like going back and forth depending on the week. There's no one guy that we can count on to be the ace every week. So I don't feel like we're learning some big overall picture with these Seahawks. I think that every special team player on this team is liable to be really good or really bad depending on the week. Okay. I think that is going to do it for this week. I don't know what else to say. I just it hurts to look at this stuff. It hurts to look at this and try to find something to be positive about, try to find something to hang your hat on. And you know they're capable of doing a lot better than this because you've seen them do a lot better than this, but you're playing like that at home against the Packers in a game that's going to be big for your playoff hopes. It's hard to not reevaluate a little bit. It's hard to not, and it's hard to not come down pretty hard on certain things like Woolen. I kind of made my peace with the Woolen thing last night. I'm done with him. He needs to be off this team as soon as possible or relegated to like special teams gunner for the last year of his rookie deal because the ability to play cornerback has become completely lost to him. And I don't even see a guy who's playing hard anymore. I don't get the sense that he likes football that much. I don't think he wants it. And you got guys like a Roy Robertson Harris that some people are trying to defend. I don't see it. I don't see anything there. I see a very, very forgettable player that is easily going to be replaced when he leaves this offseason. All right. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Probably another video later today, but who knows what we're going to hear. So everyone have a good day.